welcome back to the fucking Tech Dad pod.
Come on.
Ah, it's been a minute.
It's been more than a minute.
Yeah, it's been too long. We've both had various different stuff going on, which is why it has been like that. But we're back.
We're back. I missed you.
I missed you too.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Oh, not a lot. I say not a lot. We've actually been up to quite a lot.
I was going to say, I know that's a lie. I know you've been doing loads.
Yeah. No, we've been going conferences. I got back from Boston, New England area last Tuesday. Co-running a conference of my own. With some amazing people, which was awesome, which you also did us the pleasure of speaking at. So you and I have actually seen each other recently.
We have. And we did want to do an episode on that day at the conference, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, we had too much going on.
Yeah.
Too much going on. But yeah, no, it was a great day. It was a great day. I liked your talk too. It was funny.
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed my talk. I've never been more laid back doing a talk in my life.
You're horizontal, mate. I think you sat on a windowsill for the whole thing, didn't you?
I did. I literally thought I'm just gonna, because I did want to sit at the desk and it kind of be a discussion, but there was too many people in there, which was a nice problem to have.
Yeah, we gave you too small a room, mate.
Yeah, so I thought I'm just gonna chill by the window and confuse people in where to look.
To the wall.
Because no one knew where to look. Should they look at me? Should they look at the screen?
I liked your animations in your slides, though. That's the most animations I've seen in slides in a very long time.
You know what? That kicked me in the teeth a little bit, because I don't know how, but I lost that version of the presentation.
Oh, tragic.
I didn't have a backup anywhere. So when it got to the end, or it might have been a week later, where everyone was sharing their slides and stuff, I didn't have them. So I had to go back and redo them all from scratch. Yeah. So I've put that presentation together twice, which was fun.
Well, you sounded like you knew the content, so it might not necessarily be the worst thing in the world.
No, that's true. And I am presenting it at your company's, the London DevOps.
Oh, are you a DevOps streaming?
I am. I'm a DevOps training. I love that. I love that conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's good.
Well, that's a nice little surprise for me. I didn't realize that you were going to be there.
Yeah, I didn't either. I submitted my talk. I submitted my talk literally the like half hour before the deadline. I thought, let me see if they want me there or not. And turns out you do, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
What about you? What have you been up to?
I've got a new job.
You got a big announcement to make. Woo!
Yeah. Well, not really. That's kind of it. It's a big job.
Yeah, not a job.
Not a big job.
Big
well,
job.
Actually, no. It is a big job. Yeah. It's a going back to what I love doing is the best way I can describe it.
Good.
Being around a lot of other really, really talented people who also know a lot of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. What's I guess for listeners to this podcast, what's it? I've never found myself in the situation you're in. So you were let go from your last company, and what's that like as a father, knowing that you have kids to provide for and family to provide for and all that kind of stuff, and losing your job and then having to go out and find a new one? What's that like?
It's not easy, I won't lie. Especially because especially in our kind of world, there's been a lot of talk around the difficulty in finding new roles and that kind of stuff. I didn't find it difficult at all. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's because I am actually quite good at what I do.
Well, you certainly can't speak, so
I can't speak. No, But yeah, no. I literally I had one job offer within a 15-minute phone call. I had a brief 15-minute phone call with one company and received an offer straight off the back of that.
Legend.
Yeah, thank you. That I didn't go with that one. I went with a company called Dark Trace, based in Cambridge. So hopefully, I'll get to see you a lot more.
Yay.
But yeah, just the whole project that they was putting together and the kind of team that they was building. I just, as soon as I heard it, I thought I want, when you want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
It felt like that. It just felt right. So I kind of held out for that role just to see if I'd get any offer. The process for that was a little bit long winded, or not long winded, but it wasn't after a 15-minute phone call.
Yeah.
And they're in the cybersecurity space as well, so obviously they have to do a lot more checks and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Fortunately, you're a stand-up guy, so
yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the kids, I didn't hide anything from the kids. Like, as I told them every step of the way, this is what's going on. Jaden point blank said, if it doesn't sound like that was a nice place to work, it's good that you've moved on from there. I was like, you speaking a lot of facts there, boy. Yeah, and just every step of the way, they was kind of they was very supportive of me. I always make jokes about kind of stuff that's going on anyway, so I made light heart of it, even though deep down it wasn't a nice place to be in, especially when you're working with people who you think are your friends and you think you can trust, and then it turns out that that's not the case at all. So that was eye opening for me, but it was also a good experience to have. It's probably something that I needed, just to kind of reevaluate priorities, I guess, because all of a sudden I think, okay, so I now know who I can and can't trust, and that's an important thing to know in life, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that you went through what you went through for sure, and but I think that being like honest with your kids about how things are going, especially when they're the age that they are, right? So I'm going to get this wrong again, but they're at, what, 11 and 9 now?
No, 11 and 8.
11 and
Halfway.
8.
You got it half right.
Half right. I'll take it. But like having that openness and like in communication, just say, hey, like, daddy's not got a job anymore and we're looking for a job, and that bit of transparency is just like, unfortunately it all worked out. You got a new job,
Yeah.
and like you're happy. It's just like it's showing kids at an earlier age is just like, we can have adversity, but we overcome it. It's not the be all and end all.
No,
It's an
yeah,
important lesson for
wanted
them to learn if you're more open with it.
Yeah, I wanted to be honest with them, so because I mean, our job fundamentally as parents is to prepare them for the world. So I wanted to make them see, look, this shit happens. This shit happens in life. Hopefully it won't happen to either of you, but if it does, it does, and you just have to roll with the punches and deal with it. And luckily, like I said, I am actually very good at what I do, regardless of what some certain people seem to think. And yeah, I got a new role relatively quickly, which isn't always the case, especially in the space that we work in. So
Yeah,
that's something that I'm very lucky about.
yeah. I'm actually going to be speaking about that on Wednesday with a panel of absolute legends, about the job market and stuff.
I saw you can
on Wednesday.
use me as an example if you want.
You are an example. I think you've been used as examples too much. Oh dear. But yeah, no, that's a like I say, like that's, I don't know if yeah, I think kids are a lot more smart than you give them credit for. They notice a lot more. I think my eldest my eldest pays attention. Even my youngest, like they know when things aren't right or what have you, and if you like to keep that from them, then they go, what's wrong, or like they pick up on the vibe, and then they don't hear you talking about it. So if they're going through similar stuff, they're less inclined to talk to you about it. So showing them that openness and transparency is going to help them be more open and transparent with you. So I think that's
definitely
the right approach for sure.
They also, I don't think most parents respect this enough, but they hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like any little thing they will hear, regardless of if you're whispering, if you're, like you say, they're probably the best judges of the vibe in a room. So if you've had an argument with someone, but you see the kids coming in and you go shh, 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 and you stop talking, they know you're arguing, even if they was like deaf, they would walk in, they would feel the vibe, and they would know.
Yeah, it's like my parents. When we used to all have like dinner like as a family, 6:00, 6:30 every night at the table, and then me and my sister would get down from the table, and then you would hear them or come back into the room like half hour later or whatever, and they'd be in a heated discussion or whatever, or and I'd walk in and go, well, what are you guys arguing about? And they'd be like, we're not arguing, we're just having a discussion. So it's just like, well, you are arguing, aren't you? So shut up.
On a lighter note, I went to Comic-Con.
You went to Comic-Con?
I did. I went to Comic-Con
You're a
in
massive
London
nerd, you know that.
last week. No, I hated it. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely hated it.
Why'd you go in the first place?
Jaden is a massive Star Wars fan. Loves collectibles and all of that kind of stuff. And he'd been going on at me for ages about going. I was hoping that it was because at his new school, unlike most others, so in the UK at the moment, starting today, is half term, so school holidays, which is a week. But Jaden's school was off last week as well, so he's got 2 weeks off for this little school holiday rather than the 1 week that most kids are having. And Comic-Con was on Friday, so it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I wasn't going to do the full weekend, like no chance. But yeah, he really wanted to go. I said, okay, I tried to get out of it every way that I could, to the point I found the list of like people that were going to be there and speaking and signing autographs and all that jazz, and said, look, you don't know anyone on this. Let's just leave it. And he was like, no, I want to go. So yeah, we went, and he had the best time. He absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
He had a budget of like he'd saved £100 to spend on whatever he sort of wanted. That was gone within the first hour.
What do you get?
I don't even know. I'll be honest. There was some. It's Star Wars. All I know is it was Star Wars shit. That's all I know. But he had the best time. He had a lightsaber lesson as well.
Lesson.
Yeah, which I'm not going to lie, it was funny to watch. I might put a little. Actually, no, I can't. I was going to say I could put a video up, like on the YouTube for the pod, but he's battling with another kid, and I can't just put random kid videos.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's not.
Yeah, they frown against that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, he had the best time. He's not stopped talking about it ever since. He's really, really loved it. So yeah, that was my good dad deed for him. I do hope that he at some point realizes that I've done a lot of dad stuff that I don't want to do. Like I hope when he's older he realizes, that Dad took me Comic-Con and he absolutely hated it, but he still took me because he wanted me to be happy, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things you don't really appreciate until you're older. I think I know, like my dad used to take me to my rugby games and what have you. My dad loves rugby, so I think he was like happy to take me. But the amount of times that we'd have to travel to the arse end of like Suffolk, like an hour and 45-minute drive to go and play a game on a Sunday, and all those kind of occasions, like in the pissing rain as well.
Yeah.
It's not like it's 5 minutes up the road and standing in the rain. It's like driving an hour and 45 minutes in the rain, standing on the sidelines, getting drenched, and then driving back. Like, all of that kind of stuff. And that isn't that for him. I don't know if that's like, he probably would have liked to sit at home on the settee and watch Sunday morning TV rather than do that. But, I guess in the grand scheme of things, like, it's a short portion like of our lives that we play that role, and we bring children into the world, like accepting that this is not just something we have to do, but like we should look at it as a privilege to be able to do that, So whilst in the moment it's just like, oh, there's a million and one other things that I'd rather be doing today, it's just like, we're not going to have this time. And I think, seeing like Jaden's enjoyment out of the day must be the most gratifying thing for you as a parent, like, so, so whilst you're like, I didn't enjoy it, but, I was just like, I'd rather be doing something else. It's just like, actually, that's a privilege to have been able to take him and see him enjoy it. And, like, regardless of whether you wanted to do it at the time or while you were in it, like that happiness is the best thing that you can give him.
Yeah, that's true. I'm also down 50 quid from him.
You've been making bets.
No, because like I said, he'd spent his little budget in the first hour, and then after that, he kept seeing stuff that he wanted. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, hopefully this will be a one-off. So I'll try and like he saw a graphic novel that he really liked the look of. I said, oh yeah, you can get that. I mean, he walked away with a samurai sword as well. Not a real one. I just want to say he did think it was a real one. I was like, mate, people can't just sell kids samurai swords. The world don't work like that.
Also, samurai swords is a complete no-go in the UK.
Yeah,
they're actually illegal.
Also, £25, you're not getting a real samurai sword.
Yeah, you're not getting a real katana. Like, no. Try a grand, mate, and you might get one.
Above all, these people are here to make money, and £25 is not. That is a skill. If it was a real katana.
That reminds me. Have you seen Paul, the movie Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost? Yeah. And they're talking about that sword, and they're like, it's a false economy. And it breaks the first time he uses that sword. It's just like, I told you, false economy. Drops like $800 on this sword or whatever. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. What else is going on? I, to be honest, mate, I didn't even read your updated notes for this show and what it was going to be. I thought this.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw something in that I didn't even put in the notes. Because it literally just.
This might actually be a surprise to people as well, that we actually prepare for shows.
Oh yeah, we
this is not a demonstration of us preparing for a show, because clearly we didn't. But
no, yeah, I'm literally saying I didn't plan this bit, but yeah, Amelia had a gymnastics competition, and it was the level up from the same one she did last year, where she came away with, I think, 6 medals last year. This year she went a level up and came away with 5 medals.
Oh, go on with your bad self, Amelia.
Which is really, really good. One part annoyed me. So she came first in the beam, which
the balance beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are fucking terrifying.
Right? Yeah, but part of her routine on that is all of the girls' routines. Really, is they do like a forward roll on the beam, but the whole idea is you're standing, you do your forward roll, and you stay on the beam. Not one of the girls stayed on the beam, which is absolutely fine. I doubt I would stay on the beam. In fact, I know I wouldn't.
You couldn't even get on the beam, mate.
I would fall off the beam. But yeah, part of me, like, I know that she can do that bit. So even though she won it, like, she got gold for that event out of everyone. As proud as I was still, in the back of my mind, I was still thinking, you're better than this. Yeah, that's something that I'm, as a that's just how I am as a. It's not even as a parent. It's as a person. Yeah, that I know that they can, if they can do better, I'll tell them, if that makes sense.
I think it's okay to push them.
Yeah,
You know,
but
to an
I'm
extent.
like it with myself. So prime example is you know that I mentioned that I was going to be doing a little football coaching course through the FA.
Yeah. You said.
Yeah, I've done all that now, so I now know a little bit more about coaching football, and
God
part
help
of
all those
that is like,
kids.
yeah, yeah, I've been joining in with Jaden's football more, and there was one week where we was playing a little match at the end of the session, and I was joining in, and I had a couple of shots which I just missed, and I was annoyed with myself for no, like, thinking about it. There's no reason why I should have been annoyed, because this isn't my training. They're kids. It doesn't matter. Yeah, in my head, I knew that I should have scored them.
Should have been the top bin, mate.
Yeah, or one was just bottom, just missed the bottom corner, and I knew it was close because all of the kids was like, "Oh, that was close." Like, yeah, it was close, but doesn't mean anything if it doesn't go in. I did score a glorious header though that I was proud of.
Are you allowed to header the ball in like kids soccer these days? Isn't there some rule where they're not allowed to start heading the ball until?
There's certain ages where I think it's more that you can't coach it. So, like in certain age groups, you can't say, right, today, kids, I'm gonna throw the ball up in the air and you're gonna head it, kind of thing. Which I kind of disagree about a little bit, purely because it's not so much the heading of the ball, but when the ball is in the air and you're learning to head the ball, you're also learning to read how the ball moves in the air and how it lands and things like that. And I just think that that's kind of detrimental to kids learning football, because they're never going to get rid of heading.
Yeah.
And kids are always like, if a ball goes high in the air, that they're going to need to be able to read kind of the flight of the ball, where it's going to land, if they can make it, should they drop off a little bit. Yeah.
What age are they allowed to encourage it, or it's okay? Because again, like, I played rugby, and even when I played football, like, I stopped playing football at like under 10s kind of age. And one of the guys on my team, who's still a really good friend of mine, he used to head the ball, and like when he got his head on the ball, that thing just pinged off, and he scored more headers than anybody like on our team. But yeah, like, even I do see the point, with all the stories that are coming out of rugby these days with like early onset dementia and all that kind of stuff. Like, for the most part, I agree with protecting kids' development, especially their brain development. Their brains are still developing people's brains are still developing until they're like 20 something or something like that. So I do agree with it from that side. I see what you're saying about like helping them understand like the flight of the ball and what have you. I think,
yeah,
I'm not trying to be like woke and soft or anything like that, but it's just some of the stories that you hear about these days, like how much of that is preventable.
Yeah. I think one of the main things from me is, well, for one, I don't actually remember when I started playing football. It's something like in my memory I've just always done. I've headed the ball a lot of that time. I don't think there's been any damage. Saying that, how would I know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
see in another 10 years.
Yeah, but also there's I know why they brought the kind of rules in, and it's almost because it came in too late, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the really negative stories are sort of from the like 50s and 60s, and how those players have now got difficulties and things like that. But the balls that they were heading were, I mean, on the video I'm gonna put a picture up, because they were a joke. They were just solid leather. But I'm not surprised that they have any sort of brain issues from heading those kind of balls. Whereas the ones nowadays are a lot They're a lot softer. They're a lot lighter. So I think that should be part of the conversation.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. My eldest is soccer mad at the moment. It was his birthday. It was his 6th birthday actually a couple weeks ago. Certainly since we last recorded an episode. My parents bought him a portable, like movable, like goal. In like
Love
the proper full size. So it's currently up in my garden. But honestly, mate, he's just obsessed with it. Fully obsessed. Like all he wants to do is play football. Football. But yeah, it's an interesting sport. It's really cool. It's really cool seeing, because they've started playing like matches against like other teams now, or like having like inter-team kind of games. But it's really interesting to see them on the sidelines, like supporting their teams and like encouraging each other. And you know, it's such an interesting thing. Organised sports, I think, is one of the best things that you can do for kids and kids development generally, whether it be football or hockey or rugby or whatever. I think it's just really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I've also realised that I'm also kind of a different person when it comes to playing sports. I realised this. It was last week. After or during Jaden's training, they was doing like a keep ball exercise. They was in 2 teams. They just had to keep the ball. Really, that was it. Keep it, pass it amongst each other. And Jaden's team, even though they on paper they probably had the better players, those players were quite negative towards each other. So if one would lose, if one would lose the ball, like the arms would be thrown up in the air, and they'd say, "Come on," or "What are you doing?" and all those kind of things. Jaden not so much. In fact, Jaden doesn't do that, but yeah, a couple of the other boys did. And as we was driving home afterwards, I said, because the other team absolutely battered them, like they did so much better. I said to him, "Do you know one of the reasons why that happened?" He said, "No." I said, "Because of how negative you were towards each other." And then it made me realise that when it comes to playing, like I'm not a overly positive person in life. I think
understatement of the century. But
exactly,
all right.
exactly. You know that better than most people. But on a football pitch, I'm completely the opposite. I won't say anything negative, unless it's maybe to a referee. Yeah, but in terms of like to teammates and things like that, I would never be. Everything would be positive. If someone misplaced the pass, I'd say, "Come on, you're better than that." It would always be positive. And I don't know why that seems to be not so much the case with kids these days.
Yeah, okay. I guess if we come back, and this is the Tech Dad Pod after all, come back to like the technology and whatever. There's so much fucking negativity, like on every platform that you look at. Instagram, I'm sure it is. I don't have TikTok, but I imagine there's a bunch of like negative stuff on TikTok, and there's seems to be like there's whole mentalities that you know like tearing people down like is the thing to do, and it's just like tearing other people down doesn't make you better.
No.
Right. And lifting other people up and lighting somebody else's candle doesn't diminish your own flame. You know what I mean? And I think we need more of that in sports and whatever. Like keeping uplifting and supporting other people is like one of the best things you can do, like career wise, sports wise. You know, it's just like these kids, like, yeah, you're gonna have people on your team that are better than you, and if you are the best player on the field, then help your teammates get better. That doesn't make you, helping other people doesn't make you any less. You know what I mean? It contributes to the success of everybody, and you know, helping and encouraging the people that are better than you to carry on getting better and learning from them is better. It's just like, you know, you're a great footballer, but you're a miserable prick. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, okay, well, you're a great footballer, like coach them and support them, or maybe they've experienced a lot of negativity and that's why they act the way that they are. Like you can be positive influences, just like you're a great footballer, like proud of you, and I'm grateful to be your teammate. You know what I mean? Versus, okay, like not saying overlook the fact that they're a bit of a prick, but help them be better.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean, it's probably different when you get to like the elite level sport, because then the stakes are so much higher, and
yeah,
I mean, ultimately it comes down to it being about more money,
yeah.
which
I guess
puts
so.
pressure on.
And like you say that as well, it reminds me of something that happened last week. So I got disastrously hooked on watching ice hockey at the start of this year. So I watch a lot of ice hockey these days. I love it, man. It's like football but on ice. Like it's incredible. Anyway, but one of the team's Boston Bruins captain, a guy called Brad Marchand, he turned over the puck to the opposition, who then went on and scored. And after that happened, he went to the bench. So in ice hockey, they have rolling substitutions. Like people usually spend a minute and a half on the ice and then swap out with their teammates and whatever. And your head coach stands like behind the bench with you all, and it's like a pretty condensed area. But the coach was absolutely laid into Brad Marchand on the bench, like gave him an earful on the bench, like in front of everybody. And then it was in a post-game interview in the dressing room after that, and he was like, what's your opinion on coach, like giving you an earful like in front of everybody? And the captain was just like, well, I'm glad he said something. I deserved it. I shouldn't have done what I did. And coaches are getting too much scrutiny for laying into players on the benches, or like but he was just like, I think coaches are under too much scrutiny. I should have got an earful. I'm glad he gave me an earful on the bench. I needed it. What I did wasn't good enough, and I was told so. That's our coach. And it's just like, I was just like, that's fucking masterclass in situational awareness. Like you want people to be like, that was shit. Like you can do better than that. Like that's not on. Some people, and then there's the people. The reason that was a whole issue is just like, should it have been behind closed doors or whatever? And he's just like, what's the difference? We're in the middle of a fucking game. Like I need to get my coach is trying to get my head in the game, and what I did was unacceptable. And it's just like that level of accountability from your cap. A lot of people hate Brad Marchand, by the way. Like he's a nightmare to play against. He's a bit of a tyrant and what have you. But it's just like off the ice, like as who he is as a person, he's great. So I don't know. Say what you will.
I think that's almost an art in coaching, though, in knowing when you can do that, and who you can do that to. Because I'd imagine that there'd be like a different player that may have made the same mistake, that they'd come off, and then it would be kind of an arm around the shoulder and a softer approach.
Yeah, maybe I hadn't thought about it like that. But yeah. Anyway, bit of a derailed. This is a football podcast now. This is a sports podcast now. This is what's happening.
Yeah. It's Halloween this week.
It is Halloween this week.
What
got the kids on Thursday this week as well. So that's my night.
I've wondered how your Halloweens look, because obviously your missus is from Texas. So I'd imagine the culture there for Halloween is quite different to here.
Yes, Halloween is a huge thing in the States. It is. So it's funny you say that. We had my family around yesterday for Sunday dinner and what have you. And before they came, my partner, she was doing like all the decorations. She's also Hispanic. She's Mexican as well. So we've got lots of Dia de Muertes themed stuff up in the house as well. So like I don't know if you see my golf clubs, like they're all like candy skulls and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of those decorations up, and we've also got the pumpkins, like window stickers and all that kind of stuff. And it's the most excited I've been about Halloween in a long time as well, because she's made the house look great. It looks really cool. The kids loved it because we had the kids this weekend as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then Thursdays is our regular day with them as well. So we have them every other weekend and every Thursday. So Thursday's our regular day with them anyway. So we're going to get to do the whole like trick or treating thing, and which we didn't get to do last year because they were with their mum last year. But it's our turn, and yeah, I'm super excited for them. My youngest is going to be a witch because he wants to be a witch for some reason, and then my eldest is going to be a ghost. But yeah, when I was growing up in the estate that I lived in, which is just down the road, I still live in the same town that I grew up in. But there was a lot. We also have a United States Air Force base about 20 miles down the road. So we have a lot of Americans living in this area anyway because they work on the base and they're in the Air Force. So yeah, Halloween, even where I live, has always been like a little bit of a bigger thing because we've had more of an American influence. But yeah, it's super cool. It's yeah, they go all out. They go all out for sure.
Yeah, where I grew up, it just wasn't a thing. I think mainly because growing up in East London, there's almost a rule of you can't ask anyone for any help. You can't ask people for stuff. You just don't do it. So I remember distinctly one year my like talking about Halloween with my nan, and she point blank said that's begging. Why are you doing that? And yeah, it's always stuck with me because
that's such a weird way to look at it.
I know. I get where she's coming from because that was her mentality. If you don't ask for anything from anyone, you do it all yourself. And I mean, it is essentially going out and asking for treats and candy and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know how old I was at the time when she said that. But also Halloween for me now is quite big. We go not all out, but we do quite a lot. Yeah. So I went to a party the last weekend. I had a kind of joint costume with my stepmom. She was Red Riding Hood. I was the Big Bad Wolf. Yeah. On Wednesday this week, we're taking the kids to a farm thing near us that's doing like a Halloween themed sort of thing. And then on Thursday we'll do trick or treating as well. I think one of the good things about where we live is because it's a new estate with all new build houses. So it's essentially a brand new community where you can kind of do things from scratch and make your own traditions. Whereas if I was living now where I grew up, it probably wouldn't be as lenient, shall we say?
Yeah.
But yeah, we do a lot for Halloween, and I don't actually know where it came from because there's been no real reason for it.
Yeah. I get it. My partner actually told me something interesting. Did you know Halloween started in Ireland?
I did know that. I don't know why I knew that, and that's literally all I know. Like I know it's like I don't know the story behind it. But I do know. Yeah, I did know that it started there.
Yeah. So she was looking it up, and she was just like, "Did you know this?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know that." But yeah, around this time of year, there was a belief, like way back in ye old days or whatever, that was when the evil spirits and stuff would like start to come out the woodwork. Would be around like this time of year. So what they did is they started to dress up to ward off the spirits, and they used to carve turnips instead of pumpkins because that's what was available. So using those things and using those things to like ward off those spirits, which is why people would dress up and like to keep those spirits away. And then the gifts and the idea of like trick or treating was like for offerings for the spirits to keep them away as well. So that was quite a little interesting nugget. And then obviously a lot of Irish folk moved to the States. So when the Irish emigrated to the United States a few hundred years ago and what have you, there was an abundance of pumpkins, which is why they started to use pumpkins. And then pumpkins became more popular for doing the carving and making jack-o'-lanterns and what have you. But yeah, I didn't know that until last week. That was a
really
little bit of a fun fact for anybody that doesn't know the origins of All Hallows Eve. as his full name is. It's All Hallows Eve, isn't it? I'm gonna have to fact check that.
I think
Fact
so.
check myself.
It sounds right.
It sounds right. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let's roll with it then.
If it's not right, I'll put a little banner thing up at the bottom saying no, Jack was wrong.
Jack's chatting shit.
Yeah.
You might as well leave that banner up permanently whenever I'm talking. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm excited. Halloween, good times, good vibes. Yeah, I used to do like dress up like parties and stuff. There used to be more of that. But yeah, I'm less into the dressing up myself. I guess I don't know if I'm going to dress up on Thursday. I don't know what I dress up as. We'll see.
I never thought I would enjoy dressing up, but I put a lot of effort into it now.
You put that clown suit on every day, don't you?
Yeah, I put this mask on every day.
God, you can tell it's been a long time since you've done this, because I've just decided to roast you today. Because
do you know what? Speaking of putting things on my face, I got a VR headset. I got a MetaQuest 3.
Did you?
I did.
Why?
Love it. I'm not going to lie. Do you know what? The main reason was because I wanted to use it for work.
Tell me more.
I know it sounds weird, but there's various different apps where you can have it set up to kind of have loads of large monitors above you rather than just be looking at your laptop screen and stuff like that. And I just thought, that might be quite good for work and productivity and stuff.
Tell me more.
Not gonna lie, so far I've done none of that. I've played games on it, and although I have to say, so there's a new Batman game for it that is amazing. It is such a good game. And there's also one thing that I really like about this that not many people have spoken about, is that I know that most other games, it's all about the graphics and the realness and that kind of stuff. Whereas people for games for VR headsets, they don't seem to care as much about the graphics. It's more about the immersive world and the gameplay within it. So it's quite nice that even though the graphics aren't as good as, say, like a souped up PC game or an Xbox or PS5 game, the gameplay is probably better.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
what are you doing? Just like running around your living room into walls and shit?
No. So on the controllers, you've got joysticks. So that's how you move, which is good, because I would fully have immersed myself and run smack into the TV and have it fall off the wall onto me and kick the dog while I'm playing a game. And yeah, it wouldn't go well, let's say, but it is good. I enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
I can just see your mind wandering. You're just like, I want to go and play that now. Shut up, Jack. Let's wrap this up.
No, there are certain VR things that I'm not going to talk about that are intriguing to me. Yeah, I'll talk to you about them offline once I've delved into that side of it.
No. Oh my
also,
God.
one thing that I am very excited about is no, not that. Is that with certain iPhones, because obviously Apple have got their Vision Pro, which is just so expensive. Like, I'm not gonna if I'd had the choice, I would have got that. But you're talking just under £500 or £3,500. There's no real conversation to have, especially when you've got kids. It's like, Daddy, why can't I eat this week? Well, can you not see my cool headset? That's why.
I'm eating in virtual reality.
Yeah.
Put the headset on and then you can imagine you're eating, all right? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but so because of that, Apple also did on the fifth, I think it's on the 15 Pro and above phones, and then the new ones that came out this year, sort of video recording for the headset, and so it's kind of like when you watch it through the headset, it's kind of more realistic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's also now available for the Meta Quest. So I'm looking forward to things like my first thought was our Christmas Day, watching the kids opening their presents and filming it in that sort of view, and then being able to watch it back in kind of 3D and almost living it. It's almost like have you seen Minority Report, the film?
Yeah.
It's almost going into that kind of world, which is very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
I will keep everyone updated on that and how it goes, because it might get to like next week and I'm done with it and I've sent it back.
Dear Lord. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've only ever done the the PlayStation VR stuff, like playing Beat Saber and stuff. God, I suck at it. I suck so bad. I'm too gangly, mate. I've got too much limb, but it is cool. It does remind me a little bit of. Did you ever have one of those Nintendo Wiis?
No, I didn't.
It's like a Wii on steroids.
I've got a Switch, which some games are a little bit like that, but yeah, I didn't have to. I played on like some friends had a Wii that I played on from time to time, but yeah, I never owned one.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed playing stuff on the Wii. The like Resident Evil 4 was like quite fun. It's like not like fully immersive because you're not like in it, but you're at least like pointing at the screen and moving with the joystick and stuff. So that was fine. But actually being immersed in it and actually using my whole body and stuff, like that was it's not my forte. Very very discombobulating experience.
Yeah, I mean, so far for me it's been okay, but like I said, I'll see if that changes.
Yeah, we'll see after some of your experiments whether you actually decide to keep it or not. Oh dear. Have you got a Reddit question for us?
I have, and it's Halloween themed, which
cool. Keeping with it.
Which I searched for because I thought it's Halloween. Let's find one. It's also I saw it and I thought, this is a really interesting question, especially in this day and age. So yeah, the question for this week is: would it be inappropriate for my son to be Black Panther for Halloween? And then the context behind it is we are white, and my son's favourite Marvel character is Black Panther. He's holding firm when I ask him periodically what he wants to dress up as. He's 6 years old. Would it be offensive, insensitive? I'm inclined to let him, but wanted to see if the response would be overwhelmingly negative.
Let him do it. Yeah, like like Black Panther is one of the best performing Marvel films of all time. Like I think it's that film in itself is an important like celebration of like Black excellence as well. Like that cast, and it won all the awards that it won. And so what? Like celebrate it. Like we have. I think we have more as we as white people should be supporting everybody from every community. It's like looking at like historically like our part to play in equality for everybody is so what, he's a Black superhero, like dress up as your superhero. I assume like it's just like a costume and like the Black Panther mask and what have you, like just fucking right, you can dress up as Black Panther. That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Because especially like kids like don't see kids at 6 years old, they don't see race or have any context of anything that's like happened in the past.
That's exactly what I was going to lean into. Kids do not see race at all. So for one, if you was to say, oh, they can't do it, suddenly they see that there's a problem, or not a problem, but
or that's questionable.
They see
it's not questionable.
Yeah, they see it as questionable when it's not. It's his favorite superhero. He's an amazing superhero. Like you say, one of the best Marvel films ever. Yeah, when I read
the discussion.
Yeah, but it was more the fact that they felt the need to ask this question, which for me, shows the world we're in at the moment, where people. I think the ironic thing about this would be the majority of people that would be offended by this are white people. I don't think any and if I'm wrong with this, I completely apologize. Add in the comments if I am wrong with this, but I don't think any black people would see a little white boy dressed as Black Panther and think that's not right. They can't dress like that. I think they would think, oh wow, our culture's being appreciated in a way that we feel it should be.
Yeah, yeah. And I would hope that is the case too. For sure. Yeah, I mean, there's part of me that does feel like we feel slightly wrong for kind of discussing this. We're two white guys doing a podcast about it and talking about an issue. Like we don't have somebody that on the podcast right now that we can speak to and just say what's your opinion on this. Like I'd be more comfortable in sticking a flag in the ground, like with the experience of if we have one of our black friends here with us to say what do you think. But from my perspective. From my perspective, I would say the way I would see it is just like as a celebration of your superhero, like he's from a different culture, like different background and what have you, like, and you're celebrating him. That's a really positive and powerful thing. But yeah, I think us two sitting here and talking about it as two white guys, it might negate some of our points maybe.
Very true.
But
yeah, maybe we get a guest on to discuss this a little bit more.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Should we do guests? I think we should. We should start inviting guests on this thing anyway.
Yeah, we should. Problem is, I have very few friends.
I really thought you were going to say I have very few friends that are dads, but you just ended at friends, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think we should get guests on because obviously, like you say, this might be a very different answer that we give to this question if we had a guest on with a more specific point of view.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. There you have it. Episode number whatever. What episode is this? 10? 9?
Yeah, I think it's 10.
10? Oh my god, it's been so long since the last one. So I hope if you've missed us, please let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
give us that little 5-star.
We're back for good. This is it now.
I want you back for good. Oh, dear Lord! If nobody gets that reference, just go.
You should get it.
Yeah. I mean, there might be quite a few Americans here that don't understand that reference. I don't think Take That were all that in the States.
Really? I thought they were. Yeah. I thought they were global. Them and the Spice Girls at the time. I thought that was the world of music.
For a certain age range, maybe.
Yeah, that was a very specific age demographic I just aimed that at.
Oh dear Lord, I think it's time to sign off.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And yeah, we're back. We're back for good. So more's coming. With some guests. We'll get some guests on. You'll have to find them though. I like I said, I've got no friends to invite.
All right, well, I'll dip into my acquaintance and friendship list and see what we can do.
Yeah, maybe through this I can make some new friends. That'd be good.
Oh, that would be a nice little thing. All right, mate, I love you.
Love you too, man.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Bye, everybody.